The rise of the women's evolution. And welcome back to my channel. Again, this is Mikeratto, and we're going to discuss the women's evolution, which they actually had a pay-per-view named Evolution. So I hope you all subscribe to my channel, like, comment down below, share, subscribe, and share this, and also be a member for more future content. So here we go. So if you compare the women's division 10 years ago, aka the Divas division, and the women's division right now, there's a lot of changes. What do I mean by changes? Before, they are more involved in 5-minute matches or 10 minutes matches, which is actually either a short time on Raw. Mostly Raw before then are 2 hours long. And despite of this, short matches, they are trying to make different storylines of them. Others are actually being involved in male storylines, and others are made managers for guys, which there's a different type of activities that WWE actually made the women did before, which in before they actually became PG, there's more thing and stuff that WWE actually created with them, such as matches with their underwears and etc and etc. So they made this look, which some of them actually look like models, and in 2013 or 2014, they're actually slowly to adapt, and they are promoting give divas a chance, something like that, which there's also a pipe bombshell. If you remember the thing that AJ actually cut a promo to the entire divas locker room, I mean the whole diva roster in 2014 or 2013, which she cut a promo which she talked about the women, they are actually more of models instead of being this pro wrestlers, comparing her career to most of the divas back then. There's a lot of women who are actually talented, but some of them are not used on television. Some are actually, they are talented, that they are in the divas championship scene, and most of the time it was dominated by AJ and Paige during 2013 up to 2014. So in 2011, there's a lot of things that they actually did, but it's more of a 5-minute matches back then. Also in 2010, and they had this program also with Mickey James and Lay Cool, which they mocked Mickey James with the big references on the storyline. So also before, don't forget in the Attitude Era, because of those underwear matches, they if you do that today, there's a lot of heat that will actually come to those matches. But before, they had the storylines, which they actually made women interact with men. They have this either being pregnant storyline, or being being involved in a love triangle, or being involved with Vince McMahon before, being his secretary, or just being involved with the boss himself. So there's a lot of divas back then. The women's locker room back then, they're actually involved in that match storyline. So the changes actually change and change and change. People had their different perspective, and in 2015, the change actually occurred. In NXT, everything changes in 2014, from the way they actually book the show, the men's division, the female division. It's more of a transition towards also in either 2013 or 2014 to what we know as NXT today. Even the women's locker room back then, or the women wrestlers, while they're actually being promoted into this huge matches, especially the four horsewomen back then, even the Iconics. Everyone got a shine. The former the Riot Squad, even Asuka and Kairi Sane, everyone got their highlight in NXT. When they are in the main roster, they have the chance to promote their character through a larger audience. And yeah, when the Four Horsewomen debut, while less Bailey, it's more of Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky, while they were actually in a storyline, and while the Divas title would it slowly fade away, and in WrestleMania 32 the title was dropped, and they actually returned the former term of women instead of using the Divas. So yeah, the Divas all throughout by that time, while they slowly dropped the term, they slowly dropped everything towards the terminologies of them, the titles, etc., etc. So yeah, later on they promoted this while they had a lot of storylines going on, and while they introduced the tag team titles, they even introduced a Hell in a Cell match. They introduced also different matches while they had TLC matches for this wrestlers, which yeah, some actually they had this good storytelling, while they had this badass moment, and also in 2019 while they had the chance, Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda main evented WrestleMania, so that's a feat for them. Yeah, while they had this character changes, such as with Alexa Bliss, from being this sparkly girl to this mean type of heel, into this psychotic possessed type of female, which she had Lily at her side instead of being manipulated by Bray Wyatt or the Fiend. So yeah, there's a lot of changes. While characters such as Becky Lynch, who's actually she was just doing her stuff, and then when she found the man character, it actually made her over. When for Charlotte Flair dominating the division, even people are comparing her to the success of Roman Reigns also, because or John Cena, because of the multiple titles that she actually won throughout the years. For Sasha, who she actually was performing well, and she's creating huge matches with her co-peers. Everyone gets praised, everyone gets also berated when people are actually judging Nia Jax, because she actually got into this spree of she was involved in a match which female wrestlers were actually injured. So yeah, there's that thing also, which people yeah, they have their different point of views towards this division. Comparing the division now to the division before, there's a lot of creativity, where there's a lot of matches, there's a lot of storylines, and it's not the same cliched. They want to be the boss, they want to be the boss assistant, so that they could take advantage of his powers. So yeah, instead they're creating these huge storylines depending on how also the crowd react on them, or whichever they wanted to push. So yeah, you have to also remember that there's a lot of matches also being inserted into this new division. They created a TLC match, a Money in the Bank ladder match, they also had different stipulated matches, and as I told you earlier, they had their own pay-per-view, which it was also all dedicated to the female wrestlers of the past, and the current, well, wrestlers that they have. So there you go, guys. Well, again, this is a short video. I hope you all like it. Like, comment down below, share. Again, subscribe. And again, this is Mikeratto. And peace. Thank you for watching. See you later.